I'm about to put the men of God on game before y'all start courting a woman. The first thing you want to do before you start courting a woman is make sure you pray. A lot of brothers fail to do this because we find ourselves in situations to where we be infatuated with a woman. We have good intentions. We be hopeful, but we leave God out of the equation and just hope that God write off on it after we have already made our decision. You don't always have to wait to pray when bad things are occurring. You can pray before you step into a situation. So before you even start courting this woman, pray. Ask God, is this the woman that he's willing to sign off on? Are you spirit-led? You have to ask yourself these questions because a lot of men find themselves in situations where they thought a woman was from God, or they thought, God would be okay with it. They found themselves with a woman and all hell done broke loose. And now they like, God, now they trying to clean up the mess. But we don't have to be reactive when it comes to prayer. So make sure you check in with God. And it's going to lead me to my next two, because these things are important. Because just because you pray to God, that don't mean that you're going to be okay with what it is that he says. So number two, if you have a void, do not make the mistake thinking that marriage is going to fill it. Do not make the mistake thinking that a woman is going to fill it. You have to spend that alone time with God, get to the bottom of those things, and invite God into those things. Because when we are in a place of scarcity, when we feel like we need something or somebody, we start to move sloppy. So if you're not okay with being single for the rest of your life, if you're not completely content with Christ himself, you are going to find yourself in a situation you never should have been in. So you have to make sure that you are being healed. Understand, okay, why do I have these intimacy issues? Why do I feel like I need a woman? You need to get to the bottom of that and allow God to heal those things. Now, that's not to say when those things are healed that God doesn't have a woman for you, because is God. You know what I'm saying? He very much can. But what I'm saying is you don't want to make your happiness dependent upon you being married. Because essentially what you're saying is, well, God, you're not enough. And then we just start to move sloppy. And that leads to my next one. A lot of times when we have that void, we seek pornography and women to fill that void. We run to lust a lot of times so we can feel something. This is why we find ourselves relationship after relationship, or woman after woman, or always watching the website, because lust makes us feel that false sense of intimacy. So make sure you getting your ducks in a row before you even worry about being with a woman. Make sure you taking care of that lust issue now. Make sure you giving those things to God now, because a lot of brothers, they make the mistake. They think, okay, when I get married, I'm not going to be watching pornography no more because I'm going to have a woman. But they never got to the root. And so they expected marriage to just fix it, not knowing that God fixed those things, and we have to be willing to lay those things at his feet. And now they in a marriage, or now they girlfriend and boyfriend, or whatever the case may be, and they still touching themselves because they never got to the root. They thought marriage was going to fix it. But marriage is not the source of healing. Marriage is a tool. God is the source of our healing. Yes, God can use marriage as a tool, but marriage in itself isn't the source. So it's not, oh, well, when I get in a relationship, then I'm gonna stop. That ain't how that go, Brody. So make sure you stand on top of that. Make sure you are saving yourself until marriage. Make sure you laying those things at God's feet, and make sure you being honest with yourself. If you're not being honest with yourself, you're gonna lie to yourself, and then you're just moving from a place of deception, regardless if you realize it or not. And that always puts us in a messed up situation. That's why the Bible says our hearts are deceitful. Our hearts are deceitful. You know what I'm saying? So don't be that man that's, oh man, she wasn't for me. And then you like, dang, I never did check in with God. I just hope God would sign off on it. Or the man that didn't want to get to the bottom of that intimacy issue that birthed a lust problem. Like, take care of those things now. And that's not to say that you're going to be perfect before you begin to court a woman, but take care of what it is that you can take care of. Focus more on God and becoming like Christ over just being a man of God that's, I want to be married. Like, no, make Christ your main focus. And in that, you'll be fulfilled, and you ain't going to be out here moving sloppy when you in a place of abundance with the Lord, if I'm being honest with you. So pray about it, man. And, see God.